as you know, I'm about to start this car for the first time, but before that happens, we're going to install this pillar with the gauges, which is oil pressure, we have boost, and we have air fuel mixture ratio. Let's do it. So this is going to be pretty straightforward. The first one, which is boost controller, the oil pressure, we're going to get this green wire and we're going to wire all the way down there to the filter, right? So remember, we installed the oil pressure sensor in the filter, the sandwich, right? So that unity is going to send the signal to this green wire. The black and red is just like positive and negative. So that's one thing. I'm trying to move the camera because it's got a green here or something. Not sure. Yeah, better that way. Then we have the boost one. The boost one is gonna get, the yellow is positive, black is negative, and there's a little hole in here. Let me take this out. This little hole right in here, and if you blow in this little hole, you're gonna see, for example, can you see the, so it moves. So we're gonna get that tube we have going inside the car, which is this guy here. But we're gonna tap inside the car, put another one that goes all the way to the pillar and attach in here. So that's the second one. And the third one is the fuel, air fuel ratio. This is the more complicated one. This one, you gotta buy the this guy, right, the gauge, and then there's this wire here. This wire has two ends. The long end, which I think has 5 feet, 3 feet, it connects into the oxygen sensor, which is wideband. Cannot be the other one. And, well, you can, but you don't get the data you need. And the wideband is a special wideband. It has exactly the same connector. Would be plug and play. Okay, boom, boom. With that said, there is another set of wires, set of cables, right? Another wire coming out of this connector. So one end goes to the sensor, the other end has a bunch of wires here. So the black and red is plus and minus, and the other ones, one is wideband, and what is the other? The one that's not wideband, you connect something in there, and the other one is data input and output. You gotta get the manual and figure it out. What is what? We are not going to use that. We are only going to use plus and minus. So basically, what we need to worry about first is how to plug from here. How am I going to get positive and negative running to here? I have that in the car. We just need to be conscious that it needs to be powered by the turn just after the key turns, because when you don't turn the key, I don't want any of this to light up, right? Otherwise it's gonna light up the whole night and battery will be dead. Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to start by getting extra vacuum hose. This is a silicone vacuum hose, something I got. I hope this is gonna be thick enough inside. I think it is. And what I'm trying to do is I gotta go and run this through the pillar. So I remove the original one, which is this guy. Okay, there you go. So here you have access to this part here. I went from the bottom and I start pushing up, and the vacuum hose is right here. I need to find a way to fish it up. Can you see where I'm trying to put this vacuum hose? It's all the way up there. So I'm trying to push, and now I gotta go up and try to fish it from up there. Right there. I just did. So, and that is fished. Alright, you just need to get a good amount. If I get this guy here, I guess that one will be the middle one. I don't want to not have enough, oops, and not be able to move it if I want to. So I'm gonna get a little more, but basically I just need to push it a little further. Just gotta be sure that I'm not pushing any wire down here, because dude, shit's crazy here. All right, so I decided to get this one and route through my fender again. This here gives me enough to get in there. I'm gonna leave this like that. I'm not gonna connect this yet. The exhaust stuff I'm gonna take to someone, because even though I have a welder, you saw my welding skills, right? Okay, last one that we need to get inside is a oil pressure. Oil pressure, we need to install one of those, I think it's called crimp it. We need to crimp this guy in here. So I'm going to take this out of here. There you go. Beautiful. Look at that. I could solder too, but there's no reason to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this in here and I'm gonna twist it, bend it a little bit, because I want this to clip in there and go back. Yeah. Alright, so having that wire and my connection test fitted, I figured what to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this wire loom. I'm gonna put some of my connector in there, and I'm gonna go from the back of the car. I'm gonna drop all the way down. Don't worry if you don't have the size of this, or you were curious to know what I'm using and all that stuff. I'm gonna put all the links of the stuff I'm using so you can have a reference to buy. And then we are going to go down in the car and we're gonna fish this thing out so we can put through the firewall. Okay, so let me go down there. I'm gonna fish it out, plug it, and then we're gonna come back in here. I plan to use that firewall. I'm just gonna poke a little hole in there, and then that firewall right there. This right here. This is the cruise control, and this is also the cruise control. I didn't know what that thing was for like ages. And this is the final plan. I'm gonna route through this firewall here, and it's going to go under here all the way. So I'm just gonna measure how much wire I need, so I'll need this here, and of course I'm gonna give it some slack. Ooh. Yeah, I guess this is more than enough. So first we're gonna tape the end, which is going to secure that. There you go. Now I'm going to make a tiny small cut in here. Let me just be sure that I'm not cutting any wire. Okay. Okay, apparently I did. And push it in there. I use the X-Acto knife because even though I'm cutting through the firewall, it's so tight that still being water, it's not waterproof because if it's underwater, might get water in there, but it's water resistant. Push all this wire all the way from the other side. Got here, same place where I put the vacuum hose. Finish my wire loom in here, and now I'm going to go to the same firewall. And I keep talking about the firewall. Let me show you the matrix. That's the firewall. So I'm getting a hole in here. Where is it? Here. Where I put all the other two things, and I keep pushing and it goes inside the car. Okay, that was the only way. I had this inside. I pull it out a little bit, put my green thing in there, put a little tape, and boom, it is inside. I'm going to connect this guy right in here, and there we go. And this is how it looks like. So we have the O2, we have the vacuum, and now our little guy here. I pull it a little more, keep a little tight. Sorry for the blurry. And this will be enough for us to finally put this back in there and then just work inside the car. Okay, so we have everything we need there. One thing we need to do is see if this is enough, this is enough, and this is definitely enough. I can go all the way to Japan like that. So I'm gonna put this through the holes, and this is the wideband, and this is the vacuum, and this is the oil pressure. Alright, the hole is cut. I use this thing here. It's like a Christmas tree bit, and it goes perfect. I did all the way to 3/16, and if it doesn't work, we go one more. So I guess nope. Oh yeah, it does, but it's gonna be very, very tight. So I'm going to just hold this here and go one more. Okay, so I poked 2 holes in the original one. I don't know if you should do it. I didn't want to strangle my wires and especially my hose, so it looks great like that. And now we do that thing. So I'm gonna cut this wire here. It doesn't need to be this big, so I'm gonna cut like around here. And now we just cut, put it in there. So basically that's it. So check this out. A while ago, when I start building this car, I put this thing here in place. I'm gonna leave the flashlight right there. So basically what this does is I made a whole fuse box and it's under my seat. So this fuse box receives the wire from the trunk, which is this red wire here, and that's the main power. And what happens is this main power will wire this second half of this thing straight away, and this first half here will come from the relay. Okay, so that said, is whatever I put in half of those things, it's going to use the, you see the green pin right in here, it's going to use that green pin, which is the switch on, trigger the relay and let the current pass to that thing, and it's going to power this up. So I'm going to use the second one here. I hope you can see. Second one here. I'm gonna plug this, plug that, get a couple wires, the negative and the positive, go all the way around and under, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fish up there, grab it up there, which is gonna give me the positive and negative, and I'm happy there. Just real quick, if you're curious to know how I'm gonna route this, under the seat I have there's a cut under the seats. That's normal because the seats usually are powered or trigger an airbag or something. From there I pull my red wire right in here and I put under this here. So I mean, basically just put this back in place. And there you go. So we put it out there, and this is the wire here. So I'm gonna get this guy, just wire, put behind the carpet and push through that hole. Get a thicker wire. I think this is a, I don't know, I want to say it's a 12, but I can't guarantee. Something thick so you can help it wire through that side, and then we are done. So I'll be back when I'm done with that. So one thing I just did was I also used this Christmas, whatever you call this, to make a small hole in here. I'm going to screw this screw in here, this bolt in here, and that's going to be my negative. So I'm not gonna run negative from somewhere else. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna wrap this in here. So I'm gonna assure that this is going to stay. Although this is the negative, I just wanna be sure. All right, so 10mm. I just need enough wire to get down here, so I'm gonna cut in there. I'm gonna cut a little more, and then I can do something else if I need to. What I did here was, if you look at this is the original one. I poked 2 holes in here and one on top. So the top one, I'm going to get the ground go through, and the bottom one we have 3 wires, 4. So we have the positive that we just put it through. We have the green, which is the oil pressure, and we have the vacuum hose and the other one. So I'm gonna put all the wires through the first guy, and this one that is made. Then this goes down there, and I don't need to leave this off anymore. I can find its holes in here. There you go. Okay, so that's the plan. Green goes on top, and I need to put those two together, which is fine, but what I'm concerned now is the red and the black, because the red and the black, they're not gonna pass through each hole. We have one red, one black, so inside here I need to tie all my gauges, red and black. This here, red and black, and all to the right spots. Okay, so this is the plan. I'm going to hold this in here, gauges right there. I'm gonna put all the blacks together, and I have a surprise. Okay, so I have this heat shrink. Let's see if it works with this. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna heat up. If you have a heater or hair dryer that works, there you go. I just need my solder to melt pretty good. Now we need all the reds, so I guess this is too big. Okay, so we have that, and that, so I'm gonna put those two together. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Luckily, I choose a power that is not as thick as the ground. There you go. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Okay. Seems to be good. Let it cool for a minute, and then we are gonna set all this up. All right, just to keep it a little nicer, I put some zip ties in there. This is going to let me probably push it in there. It's like a little easier. and then we are going to put a couple of screws and hold it. All right, so this is how it's going to look like. Shove it down there. It kind of worked. I'm gonna put behind this here. My last connector is there, which is great. So what I need to do is this sort of matches this guy. I don't think it's 100%, but it's pretty good. So I'm gonna drill a couple holes, one in here, yeah, and the other one on the other side. So let me try to do with one hand. I don't know if I need to poke a hole or this is going to do that for me. There you go. This is perfect. One more in here. Slowly. There you go. And there are two caps. So take this plastic that comes out of there, put the little cap on, boom. So you can see them there, and I have a trick to make it work. So check this out. Oh yeah, boy. So just the bottom one I didn't wire yet, because there you go. Woo! So we have oil pressure, boost, and the air fuel ratio is on the bottom. I need to wire that guy. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just doing the same thing. So I'm gonna use, probably I'm gonna cut the red wire that came from out there, and then I plug all those guys. I'm gonna make a little cut, wire this, the bottom one, and the negative I'm gonna do something and put on some negative down there somewhere, and we're gonna test right now, and this is good to go. That's it. So we have them working. The car is not plugged yet, so I just plug straight on my battery, on my fuse box down there. So just those two work. The third one, of course, I messed up and I burned that down. I need to buy a new one. So I'm ordering today, but definitely won't be here till next Friday. But anyway, that's pretty much it. You see they are here. This one could be a little smaller. I can maybe do some art in here and make this white part disappear, so it's gonna be a little nicer. But yeah, that's it for now. I have my seat out already, so I need to put my new fuel pump and wire everything for the fuel pressure regulator. Not that I'm crazy, but this car doesn't have the return line, so that would be a cool video. I gotta make the return line all the way from the back to the front in order to install the fuel pressure regulator. Alright, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.